Well, good afternoon everybody, welcome to another video, welcome to another vlog. Today I'm going to discuss food and nutrition and drink in relation to cycling and what I personally do and use and so on. So the reason for this vlog, or what prompted this vlog, is there was a question from, and you'll have to excuse me a minute because I've got your name written down, Gerard Kerwin. So thank you for the question, Gerard. So that was about a week ago maybe. There was a few questions we've had, and the first one is Gerard, so we're going to go through that, and he wants me to discuss what I use, what I suggest, why I use it for short rides, medium rides, long rides. And then I'm going to break it down as well, so inside, outside and back to back big days as well. So let's get into it. So I'll just talk you through a bit of what I've got. So this is my sort of nutrition corner, if you like. So bananas, I always have quite a few because I buy the green ones, and then as they start to go off, so those are getting quite ripe now, keep them next to the green ones, and the ones that are good will start turning the green ones. So bananas, I always take a banana. I will only take one banana on a long ride, and when I say a long ride I mean 100-mile ride. So if I can set off with one of those. Sometimes I forget, but I'll take it and I'll try and eat that at an hour into that ride. So let's just move those out of the way. We've then got Cliff Bars. So I need to buy some more Cliff Bars. So these are macadamia nut and white chocolate. I do like those. We've got Cliff Blocks. So these are ginger ale flavour. I discovered these at the cycle show at the NEC in Birmingham last year. So I've got a tub of those, a pack of those, and again I will take one of those. They fit nicely in the pocket as a backup. We've got some SIS energy gel 50-gram sachets, so that will make up into 500 ml of water. And again, you can take that, you can take those in your pocket, and that. Then we've got various different powders. We've got Active Roots, so I like that. We've got SIS Electrolyte Go Energy Drink. It's not electrolyte, it's SIS Energy. We've got Rego Rapid Recovery. And then we've got some SIS plant powder. Now I've not actually used this yet. Those are just my cooking stuff. So then let's now go into breaking that down, and I've shown you what's there, what I use, when I use it. First of all, let's start indoor. So anything less than 2 hours, I'll just have water. So just a bottle for the ones with the wider top than the narrow top, because it's easier to get your powders in. I like the ones that have got the clear measure up the side, because it's easier to put your water in and measure where you are when you're putting your amount of powder in. Just plain water in that for anything up to 2 hours, indoors and outdoors. If it is very, very hot outside, when I say very hot I mean sort of 25 degrees and above, I would put in some Go Energy or some This Energy, just because you're less likely to cramp then as you're sweating. Both those have got electrolytes in, they've got salts in, so they'll help reduce cramping. Anything above 2 hours, so if I was going to do a 3-hour ride or a 2.5-hour ride on the turbo indoors, I'll put some energy in. That is my Active Root, is my sort of go-to energy drink of choice at the minute. That I think of as like rocket fuel for me. If I use that, I go like mad. So I'll reserve that for other situations which we'll come to. If I was doing a 50-mile ride, a 3-hour ride outside, 50% of the time I'll probably just put water in. Depends what I'm doing the day after. We'll come back to that. Short rides outside, water. Short rides inside, water. Medium rides inside and outside, water. Once we start getting onto the longer duration rides, or the harder interval rides in hot weather, I will then put in the energy, either of those two. Once we get above about 60 miles, so once we get to 4 hours and above, I will then start to put the energy in for outside, even in winter. Now, if I'm doing a 100-mile ride outside, I'll then start to talk about my nutrition strategies in terms of eating as well, because up to 4 hours I wouldn't eat anything. I'd literally just go off what's in my drinks bottle. Above 4 hours I will then take food as well, proper food in the pockets. So banana, the Cliff Bars, the Cliff Blocks, and during that period of time you're going to need to fill up and recharge your bottles as well. So then I would take, that's the pulse, 1 or 2 sachets to top up. Now if you can't buy these, or you don't want to buy these, you can weigh out your powder and put it in a little sandwich bag, knot it, and then pull it out and top your powder up that way. People do that. Ziploc sandwich bags as well. That's another way of doing it. And my strategy for eating is I will try and keep consuming food 1 item per hour. So I'll have a banana on the first hour. At 2 hour mark I'll have maybe a Cliff Bar. At the 3 hour mark I'll have half of one of these. So in a Cliff Blocks there's little segments of gel, and 6 in one of those. 3 of them, so half of it is equivalent to 1 normal gel. So I'd have 1 at an hour, but because of the blocks you can sort of have 1 every 15 minutes over the hour period. And then I would tend to have as well a packet of emergency jelly beans in my pocket as well. On a 100-mile ride, that would see me through, because I'll get to the point where really I can't start facing any more than that. When I get back, I will then have, after a 100-mile, my Rego. So with that, 500 mils of water into the shaker, put it on the scales, zero it, 50 grams of powder. Give it a shake, consume that, and you want to do that within the 20 minutes of getting back after 100 miles. Today I've got a 2-hour session to do on the turbo, so I'll just have water. When I've finished, I won't have Rego. I've got another session to do tomorrow. It's not as long. It's an hour and 15 tomorrow. Friday's a recovery day, so I don't need Rego. So when I've done my session tomorrow night, because I've got to go to work tomorrow, so I can't do it in the day, I've got to do it in the night. So I'll come back from work, I'll eat my meal, I will then do my training with just water, won't have Rego. Once I've finished, I'll have a drink, and I might have a banana, and that's it. That's my food afterwards. get up in the morning, breakfast, food as normal. At the weekend coming, I've got 2 back-to-back days of training to do. I've got 5 hours and 5 hours on Saturday. So big back-to-back days, I'll be doing energy drinking here, so I will be doing the active route in here. And I put in about 45 grams of active root for 600 mils of water, and I will take 2 of those for my 5 hours, and I'll probably run out at about 4 hours, maybe just a little bit after 4 hours, so the last bit I won't have any water. But what I'll do is I'll take the blocks with me, and I'll take a banana with me. When I get back on Saturday after the first 5 hours, I'll have my Rego. I'll shower, I'll eat, I'll rest. Saturday, done. Sunday morning, get up, breakfast. So for breakfast I'll have porridge, so I just have porridge oats with oat milk and blueberries and some honey. I'll eat that, I'll have a coffee, I'll get ready, I'll go out, I'll have 2 bottles again with the active root in. I'll take another banana, and I'll take those again. I probably won't have had them, but I might have them on the Sunday because I'll be tired. And I'll then, when I get back in again, have the Rego, same as the Saturday. What else is there to cover? I think I've covered most things. Drinking, that's what I want to talk about. So I tend not to drink, so I try and go out on the ride to start with in a hydrated state. So I'll make sure that I'm hydrated before I set out the door. And that first hour I won't touch my drink much unless it's really hot, and then I'll start drinking earlier. And then at an hour I'll start drinking the bottle, and I'll have between 2 and 3 mouthfuls in one go, and I'll try and regularly do that sort of every 10 minutes or so. So every 10 minutes, a couple of mouthfuls. Obviously depends on the temperature. You're going to consume more water and more drink on the bike in hot weather than you are in cold weather. Indoors with just the water, it's a similar thing. Only indoors I'll start drinking at about half an hour. If not before, and I'm doing a hard session. So if you're doing a hard session, your mouth naturally gets dry. So then you're just naturally reaching for the bottle and doing the bottle. The energy, if I was racing, I'd use that racing over the active route. If I was doing Fred Whitten or something like that, I'd probably use this. Take that, because I like to use the same thing in my drink throughout a ride. I don't like mixing. I need to get a new one of those soon. It's running out. So with this one again, you're meant to put 50 grams in 500 mils, and so I don't like filling the bottles up too much. So I'll do it to 600 and then put the powder on top. Because if you put the powder in first and then you put your water in, you get all lumps at the bottom and it sticks at the bottom. So I do water, zero it on the scales, put my powder in. That's how I do it. So that style of bottle I like, as I said. The Galibier bottle, the prescribed to cycle, it's got a nice big lid. It's not very squashy, and the mouth spout is quite hard to operate, and there's no clear strip up the side. So I'll use that inside, and I use that occasionally. I only tend to use that for shorter rides where I know I'm not going to be drinking much. I think that's about covered it. Back to back, long, medium, short. Nutrition off the bike. Just a generally regular diet. Make sure that you're eating and drinking properly. So if I'm going to do a 100-mile ride, the day before I don't tend to carbo load like that old, I don't want to use the word fad, what was it, the old tradition of carbohydrate loading the day before. I don't do that. You're just meant to be eating better consecutively over time, leading up to what event you're doing. That's meant to be better. To try and lose weight, which is what I need to start doing, you want to be in a negative calorie deficit. So you want, if you go out for a ride, just knock off 100 calories a day. So don't have that biscuit, don't have that bit of cake. Most people, and I see it a lot actually in videos and vlogs, they'll go out on a short ride, they'll go out on a 1 hour ride or something like that, doing 20 miles, and they'll stop halfway and they'll have a bar. And I know lots of people that do it, not mentioning any names, people on YouTube. Don't need to do it. You're only doing an hour. You've got enough stores in your body for up to 2 hours of hard exercise. Your glycogen stores and all the glucose that's already in your blood, unless you're diabetic, that's different, admittedly. You don't need to do it. So have something to eat when you get back. Make sure that you're hydrated. Try and eat at least 2 hours before your exercise. Sometimes that's difficult, I know, and I'm guilty of that. I'll come in, I'll eat my tea, I'll jump on the trainer straight away, pretty much. That's not ideal. You want to leave it 2 hours. And then eat when you've finished, within 20 minutes ideally. And you want to have a little bit of protein and carbohydrate. You don't need to go overboard. You just need to give your body the energy and the resources to recover. There's a massive misconception, if you like, about the amount of food and the amount of protein that you need in order to sustain. It's not as much as we think. So that's why I will only do the 50 grams of Rego after the big rides, because then, yeah, I need it. Because if I've done a big ride and I've burnt 2,400 calories and I'm going out the next day, I want that going in as soon as possible, rather than having to prepare a meal and cook a meal and everything. Now, just finally before I go, I hope that's covered everything for you, Gerard. If there's any questions that you've got about what I've said, or if it's not made any sense, because I know I've just blurted it all out towards you and it's not been very organised. See, I'm waffling again and I don't know what I'm talking about. Questions, yeah, so if it's not been very clear, just any questions, drop it in the comments below and I'll try and answer your questions for you. The other thing that I wanted to say before I go is I have now cut out meat totally, apart from fish, from my diet. So I've started the journey towards possibly being vegan, and I'm not doing it for moral reasons or ethical reasons. I'm doing it for diet and health. So at the moment I am now pescatarian. So I've eaten everything out of my fridge and my cupboards and everything that contain meat and dairy, so I've got no dairy left. If I accidentally consume something, I'm not going to get upset about it. I'm not going to worry about it or anything like that. So we'll stick with that for quite a bit, and then we'll drop or reduce the fish intake, and then that will basically get me then pretty much vegan, I think. Once I drop the fish, because apart from that I am. Can't think of anything else. There might be one or two things, but I mean most ingredients that I have are vegan anyway. I must say actually, just one thing before I go, I had a vegan pizza from Asda on Friday. It was brilliant, it was lovely. Sidetrack. On that note, I'm going to go. So thanks for watching. See you in the next vlog later in the week when I come on to another question that I've had from another viewer. and subscriber, so thank you very much. No vlog tomorrow because I'm working tomorrow, so thanks for watching. Take care everybody. See you later in the week.